Greetings of peace and welcome. My name is Anthea Alexander, and I am accompanied tonight by my beautiful, esteemed colleagues and friends. And we are going to have a conscious conversation or discussion about dreams and nightmares. So we usually come together once a week on a Friday evening, Melbourne time, around 8 p.m. and discuss different topics of interest, of relevance, and anyone is welcome to join us live, or you're welcome to watch replays that we have of our discussions. And so we've covered quite a few different topics over the past 18 months or so. And yeah, that's probably about as much as I will say for now. I'm based in Melbourne, and I work as a coach and mentor, mainly helping women to become empowered and sovereign in their physical realm, their mental realm, and also their financial realm. So that's basically what I do. So I will hand it over now to Rae, and she can introduce herself and share a bit about what she does, and then we'll pass it on to my other beautiful colleagues, and they can introduce themselves and explain about what they do before we start back into the topic. Thanks, Rae.
Thank you, Anthea. Hi, everybody. So exciting we're all together again. It's so cool. So my name's Rae. I am in I'm in far north Queensland, just inland from Cairns on the beautiful Atherton Tablelands, best place in the world. Don't tell anybody. And I have been a nurse for most of my career, for over 30 years. I don't know whether to be proud of that or embarrassed that it took me so long to get out. But anyway, and what I have done since I left nursing is I've followed my passion, which has been working with clay. So I'm a ceramic artist, but because of my background, I have decided to make pottery for the funeral industry. So I make cremation urns and angels and things like that because I have no fear of the circle of life and dealing with people in grief. And you've had a lot of experience with people in all sorts of situations. You see the very best and the very worst of people in the hospital environment. So it's been an easy transition. I love my job. I don't have days off because I don't need them. And that's me in a nutshell.
Me.
Will
Hi,
do.
hi everyone. Well, I'm Georgina Fielder, known as Georgina Campbell. I'm a spinal flow practitioner. At the moment, I've just been on I have had a couple of sessions the last couple of weeks, but I've been actually doing a lot of work on myself the last couple of weeks and as well. And talking about dreams and that, I said last week, I think I didn't dream at all. Well, this week, oh my God, I have dreamt so much. But what is happening is I have dreamt about like, of what's about fear, about where I'm going and what I'm doing. And I don't know, it's just dreams of moving forward. I have dreamt this week. And yeah, just moving forward from um leaving an admin job as I had and getting back into meditation and taking care of myself.
Yeah, I guess I'd just like to um, reiterate the importance to begin with of taking good care of yourself, or as with the carers is reasonably, practical. I've I've had to, do a reasonable amount of that of late, given that I've just come out of being in hospital again. So, um, I suppose too, one of the things that I've learned that is um, that is important is, yeah, just being a bit gentle with yourself, while you can. And in terms of dreams and the importance of rest, yeah, I I go through periods where my dreams are more vivid than at other times, and I suppose that's attributable to a number of different factors. One thing that I am interested in learning about from or hearing about from everyone this evening is um, maybe the not so nice dreams and what we do about those.
Hello, everybody. Very nice to be with you all today. As usual, we have some days we take uh, gaps, there are breaks and all, and we want everybody to be here. So, yeah, I'm Sanji, and many people know me as Sanji. I'm a meditation teacher. I do like spiritual mentoring, these kind of things. So, I'm currently in Sri Lanka. Uh, yeah, that's me, no? So, yeah, I'll hand it over to Anthea. And there are some things like I also have when we come to the topic. So it's about good things that happen through dreams. I'll share with you when you start the topic, and then yeah, we all go in the way we like, and we'll focus more on nightmares also, right? Because people even suffer because of those, right? Anthea, over to you.
Thank you, Sanji. And thank you all for introducing yourselves and telling us a little bit more about where you're based and what you do. So basically, as I mentioned before, we talk about different topics and we have covered sleep in quite a depth. However, what we wanted to do was to cover, and we have sort of touched upon dreams and nightmares, but we wanted to go to do a deeper dive into dreams and nightmares. And so we can certainly do that. So basically, we spend about a third of our life sleeping, usually resting. Most people do. It's a bit of a generalization. It depends on how much sleep people have, but we do spend a significant amount of time resting. And then, so what happens when we're resting is basically we're regenerating our body, healing our brain. And I'm sure my other colleagues can go into that in perhaps a bit more of a sort of scientific basis. But that's basically what's happening is that we're having some time to basically heal our physical bodies and also all levels of ourselves, so mind, body, spirit, to make sure that we can function during our waking hours and to be able to have a purpose in life, so some sort of work, if that's what we do, or study, or something that we can focus on in life. So what else do I want to say about that? Yes, I have, from personal experience, I have experienced lots and lots of dreams, and yes, I have experienced nightmares, and some of those nightmares have really stuck with me. So, in terms of our dreams and our nightmares, they can be about our brains trying to make sense of what's going on in our lives. However, there might be other reasons that we're having nightmares. Could be due to medication based. It could be other reasons that we are wanting to, our bodies are perhaps trying to wake us up. So, for example, like when we're kids and maybe even when we're adults as well, wanting to use the bathroom. So, having dreams about wanting to get to a bathroom, maybe not being able to for whatever reason, and our brains are trying to wake us up. So, that's just a bit of just some starting points to our discussion. But I would love to hear more from Rae and about her experience and also knowledge about dreams and nightmares. And yes, so I'll pass it on to Rae now. Over to you, Rae.
Thank you, Anthea. Well, I'm full of stories, as usual. So I'll start off with child dreams. So my worst nightmare as a child, maybe a bit of background first. So I lived in the same little tiny town with both my grandparents. So I had Italian grandparents who thought the world of me, and they spoilt me rotten. And it's, oh, Bella, you're so beautiful. You need to eat some more. Like that. Like I never could do anything wrong. And my mother's parents were like Anglos, called McKelvey, so background from Scotland and England, because yeah, anyway. And they were way different. They were like Australian parents, and their humour was always putting the kid down. Oh, what are you, a sookie la la? And I just felt really uncomfortable with them, and just the comparison. They were chalk and cheese, and I had this horrific nightmare. I was 4 of my Anglo grandparents turned into giant penguins. So to a 4-year-old, they were 8 foot tall, and they were after me, and they were moving really slowly, trying to get me, and I couldn't run away. You know that dream when you can't get away? Oh my God. Yeah, so that just woke me up. I woke up in just fearful in the terrors, and I remember sneaking into my mum's room. Was probably, I don't know, it was the middle of the night, might have been midnight, to a 4-year-old, sneaking in there, and because I just needed a hug because I was just terrified. So looking back at that, that was all about, they'd babysit me, like they'd get their turn on the weekends to look after me, and I just felt trapped and couldn't get away. They were fine, there was nothing wrong with them, but to a 4-year-old with bloody doting Italian grandparents, they were just so different. That was awful. And my other childhood thing, which is not actually a nightmare, but it was for my brother. I've got a brother who's 4 years younger than me, and the minute from the second he was born, he was the apple of everybody's eye. Blonde, curly hair, he was just stunning looking. And then as he learnt to talk, he was just such a, he was everybody's favourite. And I hated his guts, fair dinkum. And as a little child, I felt my life was threatened. Like I felt that a lot as a kid. And I felt that he got all the attention. If they were going to get rid of a kid, it would be me. Anyway, so I spent the first 16 years of my life trying to kill him, but it would manifest at night. It's true. It's true. Oh my God, it's terrible. Poor little thing. Anyway, it turns out he actually deserved all that attention. He's the most wonderful man. He's just gorgeous. He's 50-something now, and everybody loves him, and me, I do too. Yeah, but I used to talk in my sleep about trying to kill him and yelling at him and thrashing around. Yeah, and my parents used to tell me, and I'd wake up the entire house trying to kill my brother in my dreams. Isn't that awful? Oh my God. Okay, so then hospital experiences, and I've had this experience as well. So you would never know someone had a nightmare in hospital unless you woke them up at, like, we used to wake people up at 2 o'clock in the morning to take their blood pressure. And if they got a fright when they woke up, they were in the middle of a dream and just come out really startled and not know where they were, and they would always think you were attacking them. It was terrible. So we used to wake people up like this, far away, so they wouldn't take a swing and hit us, because a lot of people would come out punching. But yeah, so scary. But I've had that experience as well. I remember, oh, God knows why I did this, but I got on a bus when I was 20, and I took a bus from Perth to Darwin. Oh my God, what an idiot. That's the longest bus run in the world. It was just horrible. Anyway, one of the bus drivers, because they used to change, took a shine to me. Anyway, it was in the middle of the night and he's driving this bus, 4 o'clock in the world. I had a seat, the one seat beside me was spare. He decided he knocked off his shift and another bus driver took over. He came and sat next to me. Oh my God, it just gave me, I couldn't figure out where I was or who he was or what was going on. It was just awful from that interrupted, shocked awake I'd written down. It was just terrible. The other thing that used to happen to me as a nurse on night shift, because your sleep would be all over the place, is I'd wake up, I think I was awake, and couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't get my eyes open and I couldn't get my body to move. That's called sleep paralysis. And I know lots of people have found that really concerning and it's really upsetting. But I didn't. I didn't panic. I just thought, oh, okay, that's interesting. Well, I'll just go back to sleep and have another go. So I kind of let myself drift back and then try and wake up again. And that would usually work. But that would go on for minutes and minutes. Yeah. And leading on from that, other times when I've woken up, whether it's been an alarm clock or not, and have no idea what time it was. So it'd just be just like weak daylight. So you couldn't tell whether it was morning or evening. So this usually happened after night shift. And I'd sit bolt upright and it would take me probably 15 minutes to work out what day it was, whether it was 6 a.m. or 6 p.m., whether I was supposed to be getting up for a shift or whether it was end of night shift and I was on days off. Oh, just awful. Just different sort of facets of nightmares. And just to, how long's that been?
He's on there now. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm here. You please continue. Oh, sorry. Yeah, please continue.
So I
Yeah,
shall just carry on then.
yeah,
Go
yeah.
With
for
my
it.
last bit. So I was thinking in the last 15 years, I have the same, it's not the same nightmare over and over again, but the theme is the same. And it's always about, I had a dream that I was strapped to like a gurney. Yeah. And there were other people around me that I knew and knew me that wouldn't help me. So I couldn't get up. Yeah. So all about being forced or trapped or I had one the other night. I can't quite remember it because it faded really quickly about someone made me carry all these boxes and put them somewhere and I didn't want to. So yeah, so that's been the theme about other people controlling your, well, not really controlling your life, but making you feel like you have to do something when you really don't. Yeah, so that's just from looking after aged parents, I think, because I feel like a tree. You know that saying where if you're not happy with your life, move, you're not a tree. Yeah, I'm a tree. I'm a tree for now. Yeah. So that's what they're all about. So no brilliant stories that I haven't already told you for recent ones, but I'll bet you guys have. So what do you reckon, Georgie? What are yours have been about?
Oh, mine has been about fear. And like just I had one the other night where I was falling.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and then I've had all what you said in the last week, like, and woke up and I was paralyzed and couldn't move. Well, I wasn't awake, but like I've had it all. I have been going on this circulation machine, It's called Ollie Life machine, and it's for circulation for your feet, and it's a frequency thing. So I don't, but I've been going to a massage therapist. Oh, well, yeah, I don't know. He's called a massage therapist, but he's a doctor from Germany that's been out here, and he's been doing work on me as well. So I don't know whether it's just because after I've been to them, I just sleep so much, and yeah, just every night I have just dreamt these awful dreams, like, but I've woke up next morning and I'm like, oh, okay, it's just move on. Yeah. Of every Yeah, that's from last week saying I never dream. And but as a kid, I can remember I would have been 3 or 4. Well, I don't remember. I was told I used to sleepwalk, and I had the dream of, oh, I was in a paddock and the monsters were going to get me or whatever. And I remember waking up, and from that night on, um, mum and dad made a little bed for me beside them, and I always slept in there. Well, I always had the bed there. I'd start off in my room, but if I had a dream, I would go in there. But um, and I rem well, this is not really a dream, but when I went to boarding school from grade 1. And the bigger kids in that, they used to, put sheets over their heads and they'd scare you and everything like that. So then I would start dreaming. And then, I mean, we just had a small house, and I wouldn't even go to the loo by myself. I wouldn't even go to outside. I was very scared of the dark. Until probably grade 10. Because they used to just scare us all the time. But back to the dreams, yeah, I think it's just me, like meditate. Well, I've been meditating in that as well, so a lot of stuff has come up, and just dreaming those bad dreams this week. Yeah. So the more I dream the bad dreams, the more I've been putting on a meditation. And it seems to balance it out. A grounding meditation. Yeah. Michael?
Yeah, that's probably good advice to try and incorporate maybe a meditation track or something like that. Something which I probably should have done during my last admission when I couldn't get to sleep. Um, I don't have too much to say, I guess, about the specific content of dreams. I know mine are I do have a lot of impacts of medication and side effects to bear in mind. So, and I know that some of mine are more vivid if I've had something, or I'm more likely to, have an unpleasant dream while I'm taking those meds. But I guess, I mean, this is a more general point, but I think as long as your dreams maybe aren't taking away too much from the quality of your overall rest and sleep. I've had some nights where I've dreamt a lot and I haven't woken up feeling particularly well rested or restored. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm just trying to think, just reflecting on recent dreams and trying to think whether there's a single theme. Um, I don't really think so. I tend to dream more of work situations when maybe I am stressed about work. That's when it will tend to, make an appearance in my dream life. But um, yeah, what do you think, Anthea or Sanjva?
Maybe I'll just share those dreams some people had, and then I'll get in. So in history also it says like these are nice ones. For example, like the Buddha's mother, when the Bodhisattva was coming into her womb, she had seen. I'll just keep it super short. Then there are the ones even Buddha saw before he reached enlightenment, and then or Bodhisattva was going to be a Buddha in a very short time. And then there are like some dreams like a king had seen. I'll just keep it very short to facts only, yeah, or detail like point form. And then like the he was afraid of it. It was like 16 dreams. He could remember all those, 16 in a day. And he had asked like why he was as king. No, he thought something wrong might happen to him or the kingdom or something. But actually, it is for the future. That means now. So when you see those. So it relates, no, like here, present, and the future, and everything. I'll just go through them. So uh, Prince Siddhartha, when he was born, or Bodhisattva was born, his mother had seen uh, uh, how to say her name was Queen Maya. No, it was considered as uh, some symbolic dreams, like four celestial beings, like guardian angels or devas, lifted her and carried her to a beautiful heavenly garden in the Himalayas. Huh? And then there she was bathing in a sacred lake, purified and dressed in divine garments. Then a magnificent white elephant holding a lotus flower in its trunk approached her. The elephant circled 3 times in a sacred with a sacred gesture of reverence to her, and then finally entered uh, from her right side without causing any pain or discomfort. These are the dreams she had seen. So they say like the white elephant in ancient India, uh, of loyalty, purity, spiritual power. So it appears that some special person was coming into her womb, no? So and the lotus flower represents purity of arising from the world. Uh, so enter from the right side. They say like pure. Uh, uh, miraculous conception. So, and then the heavenly setting, they say it's this being came from a celestial realm, no? And uh, but it's a human event, eh? So there are some other deeper, yeah, like the conscious birth of a bodhisattva, and then the purity of mind and intention, symbolic of language of dreams, in ancient traditions. Dream was seen as a way higher truths were communicated. So that's also a good point, right? So yeah, I'm just telling this is not as a religious thing or anything. I'm just sharing, because uh, I think and just before enlightenment, the Bodhisattva or Siddhartha Gautama, he had seen 5 dreams. One, the great body, like his body became bigger and like covering the entire world. So later he had reflected upon this, and yeah, his head was resting on the Himalayas, hand was stretched on the eastern and the western seas. His feet reached the southern oceans. Like that meant like he was becoming like a fully enlightened Buddha. And then he saw a plant growing from his navel and reaching to the skies. So this is said like um, yeah, like representing the no eightfold noble eightfold path to reach enlightenment, the human world, the earth, and higher spiritual realizations, heavens and liberation. Then he saw like this black-headed white creatures crawling over his feet. These are dreams he had seen. He had not imagined or anything. And the dreamt countless white bodies and black heads, meaning like many people will gather around him. And then he saw like birds of different colors suddenly becoming one color, like white color. And that represents like unity of all beings, regardless of caste and background. Like they had many, now also there are no differentiations, and then all, regardless of where they are from, all had unified, no, with reality. And then the last one, walking a mount, walking on a mountain full of excreta, filth, but without being soiled. So that represents, uh, yeah, completely untouched by defilements, greed, hatred, delusion. Like a lotus grows in a muddy water, yet remain pure. He would, yeah, the deeper spiritual insight. And I'll just get to the kings one. People might think like these are more like spiritual things or something like that, or belonging to a tradition. There was a king called Kosala. He had 16 dreams, and one was like, but it's true, like four black bulls coming to fight from all directions. The strong bulls from four directions came to fight, but left without doing anything. So it means like uh, in the future, the climates will change. It will, like, the skies will not give proper rain and these kind of things. And then there he saw like this king saw tiny trees bearing fruit. So small immature trees suddenly bear fruit, heavy fruit. Like people will engage in adult life, relationship responsibility too early, without maturity or balance. Then uh, it was seen like cows drinking milk from cows. Uh, so it is said like the parents will be put aside in the future, neglected. And then the fourth dream was like a weakened oxen pulling a heavy load. So it is said like not proper people will given leadership. And then there was a horse eating from two mouths. It says the judges and officials will take bribes from both parties. Yeah, I'll get to the other points also. There were 16 of them. So when the king asked about this, he was going to do a big, huge sacrifice and all these things, and he thought like uh, something bad was happening, but actually it was said like this is nothing to you. These are the things that will happen in the future. And there were other things like how to say, like uh, things like melons would sink and the stones would float. So that is like truth will go down and the fake will surface. No, and then there was like a man, uh, a person making a rope, but there was a um, fox under the chair eating that rope. It says like the partners will cheat in the future more and more, and whatever the other one brings home, like they'll be destroyed, no? And then there were more things like there was a crow surrounded by a huge bunch of uh, how to say swans. So not suitable people will come into power. And then there were like a fox placed on a golden platter, and it was urinating on it. So people people will uh, get wrong places, and in places like parliaments and official places, they will be just talking false or like loose speech, which is useless. And likewise, there were like 60. So these are, we can see them happening now. The king was told, "Oh, king, don't worry. This is not about you. This is for the future. These things will be happening." Uh, so it relates so much. For as per like nightmares. In my case, like from childhood, what I have seen was like usually it was with my thinking pattern. And whenever we watch TV or movie or something, we used to watch a lot of documentaries and all. And then I should see something regarding to that usually. And according to the fears I would carry, or some incident within the day, or something like Ray said, like anger or anything related. And then there were like two, but now I don't see like that, like dreams that make a lot of fear. The electricity came back. Sorry about that, but it's glitching. So yeah, like a pond with muddy water in the center. Uh, Sorry, the water in the center was muddy, but usually it's the opposite, no? So the central authorities will be corrupt, while local communities remain relatively pure. Rice cooked unevenly. So the social becomes unequal. Some will prosper, some will suffer. Sandalwood sold cheaply, meaning true teachings will be unvalued and replaced with false ideology. What else? Like heavy rocks floating. People of integrity will be ignored. There's another one like, but this was I saw real like videos of the frogs eating snakes. Uh, the weak will be oppressed by the powerful. Yeah, the crow we said. The goats chasing leopards and eating them. The social order will invert. Those without strength or virtue will be overpowered. So it is like ethical collapse of ethical leadership, breakdown of family respect, corruption of justice, confusion between truth and falsehood. So uh, reversal of natural and moral order. So these are the things. Um, I just wanted to complete the list there. So it was related to now. Now we can see them really happening, right? It is everywhere happening now, regardless of where it is. And then coming back to nightmares, there were two incidents. Like I had spoken to many people who had sleep paralysis and these kind of things, sleepwalking and all. I remember a few times which I did, but I thought but I didn't walk, no. I was in my dream and I thought I went to the washroom, but something else happened. And there were other people I knew like who thought it was the washroom and opened the fridge door and went to the like relieved themselves into the refrigerator. And one time I felt like it was a bit like sleep paralysis. I felt like something couldn't move and all, but I end up with a rash-like thing, awkward rash-like thing on my head after that. Huh? And then there was another time as a monk, I went to a funeral and I stayed there for a long time, and it was a very sad story. And then there was a wall, which was a wall actually, yeah. When I came back to the cottage, and then uh, there nobody could stay there. There was nothing there. It was a wall like with earth, no? Then I felt like something pulling my leg, no? In the middle of the
Mm.
sleep. It was as if somebody was there, like really pulling, no? But maybe my imagination, no? Because we stayed till late in the night and I came back. But it was a bit awkward. The other time I really felt like something was on my chest, and this was like real sleep paralysis, but I end up in a weird rash that happened. I could not breathe at that time. It was panicking, but only one like that ever happened to me. So I think many of these things like are related with our thinking process, and me and Ray also was talking one time, the breathing. In the meditation, we focus on the breathing, no? Ray, you remember, right? So see, like in the process of breathing meditation also, like it is said, no, like when the mind is becoming calmer and calmer, the breathing reduces like a meter. So just figure that out into sleep. We snore even, right? Just like we have a lot of activity running, or like even if we are scared awake, we like, oh my gosh, like that we feel, no? So like I also have seen like falling down of something, or like no, suddenly like lifting and just falling down like that. So then we can see in this dream world also, like when we are talking about dreams, either nightmares are really significant. They really stick. We remember, or suddenly wake up, no? And so the breathing is very high. So that means there's a lot of mental activity. So we can see this is all thought related. And then,
Mm.
uh, like we said in the before discussions we did, like our filtrations, the guards we have, they are no more usually. But when our mindfulness is there, we can see we are also active maybe in the dream, but we feel like we are also watching it, no? And for me, like I saw, because I was a civilian, then a monk, and then again a civilian, like there were changes. So from that time, that figure changed from time to time. And you all remember as a kid, we saw ourselves as a kid, no? So yeah. Okay, I'll hand it over to Anthea.
Thank you, Sanji. So that's really fascinating. So, one type of dreams that Sanji has covered is prophetic dreams, and there's lots of stories in different faith traditions and in the Bible about prophetic dreams. And I'm sure that there's many, many instances of those dreams. But I'm fascinated by what you're talking about, Sanji, and how those dreams are seeming to come true in terms of those signs and those symbols, which often dreams and nightmares speak to us through symbols, are coming more and more, becoming more and more real and being represented in our communities across the world. I have really more of a sense of this, especially over the past probably year or two. I've really been feeling that things are shifting really significantly. And so I have also been studying, so I'm a Muslim, or I follow the faith of Islam, which I converted to about 12 years ago, 13 years ago. And I've been studying a lot more recently about signs that the end of the world is coming. So I don't study it from a like a horrific point of view. It's not about that. It's like about what Sanji was saying, that there are certain dreams or certain signs that of things happening that were predicted by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who was said to be the last messenger, the last prophet in Islam. Uh, he spoke about certain things that would happen when we were getting closer to the end of the world. And so a lot of those things are happening. So I find it really fascinating to watch and to see different politicians and the different wars that are happening and conflicts. And yeah, so getting away a little bit from dreams, but it's fascinating how uh, thousands of years ago, or sort of 1500 years ago, people had the gift or were blessed in whatever way of being able to predict what was going to happen, whether it was told to them by God, if you believe in God, or through dreams. So it's really, really fascinating, the power of these signs, these messages. That's and imagine like 1,500 years ago or thousands of years ago, when these dreams were revealed, or these signs, these messages, they would not have made any sense at all. But gradually, as things have changed, and now they're making lots and lots of sense. So quite fascinating. That's what I basically wanted to share. In terms of nightmares and dreams, so I have lots of nightmares, lots of dreams. I shouldn't say lots of nightmares, but I have regular nightmares, and I think that they're usually related to medication that I take, or if I'm needing to get up and my brain's trying to wake me up to take medication or to do something else. So I think that that's what that's basically about. But they can often be quite realistic and quite frightening, and they might shake me for a little while, and I'll sort of need a bit of time to sort of come back to feeling neutral again. And in terms of dreams, I often dream, and I've mentioned this before, of people that I love who have passed on from this world. They're in my dreams. It's usually in a good way. And with my dreams and also with my nightmares, I often interpret their meaning by how I feel afterwards. So if I feel shaken, then that might not be a great dream. But if I feel happy and calm and not wanting to wake up, then I see that as a pleasant dream, something that was a blessing. Perhaps if my late mum was in the dream and she was talking to me or sharing something with me, and then I might not want to sort of leave that dream because I really love her. So sharing any sort of minutes with her is really precious. So that's another type of dream that they teach in my faith, that if somebody comes to you in your dream that is from who has died, that they are actually, that's like a true visitation. Whether you believe that or not is personal, but I certainly believe that it is very, very significant, and that they are, that we can connect with people in other realms. So that's basically what I would like to share. So I'll pass it over to Rae, and we'll hear from Rae again. Over to you, Rae.
I don't have a lot more to add. On the subject of prophetic dreams, my really good friend Connie, we nursed together for many, many years. She would dream about patients, because we're nursing, where if they passed away while we were on days off, or that even if their condition deteriorated, she'll say, "Oh, I had a dream about Mrs. Smith that da 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 da," and sure enough, when we get to work, that had happened. And I had one. I don't get prophetic dreams very often, but I had one a couple of days ago about my middle son, Chris. I saw him talking to his father. His father's awful, and none of us speak to him as well. And if any of us are going to get sucked back into his nightmare, it's Chris, because he's a sweetheart. And sure enough, my son Loris yesterday said, "Yeah, Chris has been texting him," and I thought, "Oh, go me." Go me, because I knew that. I heard people say that some people dream in black and white and some people dream in colour, and you're more likely to have a prophetic dream if it was in colour. But I don't think I've ever dreamed in black and white in my life, apart from my giant penguins. But I think they were black and white, but I think the background was in colour. Yeah, so that's interesting. And in closing, the only other thing that I wouldn't mind discussing is whenever I'm drifting off to sleep, I go through my day, and especially if I've done something good, because it makes me feel good. Like if I've repotted a bunch of plants, I'll sort of go, "Damn, I'm good. I did all that." But every time I dream that or think that I'm putting my hand into the garden or into a plant, a snake always comes and bites me. Yeah, that was really disturbing, until the symbology of snakes can be healing or spiritual awakening or So I feel better about that. So yeah, snakes are always in my sort of pre-sleep state. Yeah, so hopefully that's a good omen. Yeah, but I've told you all the stories I can think of at the minute, so I'm just going to hand you straight over to George. You got anything to say in closing? Or, you know, can't hear you, buddy.
No, I don't have any more to add. No. Um, I've been got work done today. I'm a bit tired. So,
Do you
yeah.
dream? Do you dream in color or black and white?
Um, I have dreamt in black and well, when I do meditations, it's black and white. That's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Or most of the time it's black, when yeah, it's black and white visions, yeah. But when I'm dreaming, um yeah, sometimes it's black and white. I have um the other night about the fear and that it was um like I can't remember the actual dream. I'll have to write it down. Well, it's too late now. I should have wrote it down, but I didn't. Yeah. But about the fear and that, like it was in black and white. But then the next night and that, when I had something, it was color. Hmm. I don't have.
Yeah, as for
Yeah.
me, I think all mine are in color. Sorry, Georgie.
No, you're
Uh,
right. You go.
yeah, I'm just trying to think. I I'm almost sure I dream exclusively in color. Um, I don't have much sort of more to add. Um, I can't recall any sort of dreams with premonitions or um anything of that kind. Um, I find that rather than my dreams tend to not be about the future per se. It's often for me something that's happened. So it's and I can wake up and think, that's because I'm stressed about a particular situation at work or something like that. So that's probably one thing that thinking about it. Yeah, I don't tend to have a dream of myself in some hypothetical future where I'm older. Um, a lot of my dreams seem to be about processing past events.
I just share a little bit like I can share like I made a document also. I can share with you all if you like, yeah. So and then about dreams and about nightmares also. So if anybody likes, I can share. Uh, please tell me, yeah.
Go
So
ahead, Sandy.
yeah, and then
Yes, please.
and I can send it to you all also. Yeah?
Okay.
So yeah, so usually like nightmares they happen in that rapid eye movement time, no? So
Yeah.
yeah, it says in science also the brain and all becomes very active, and which I believe like in the mind is very active at that stage. That's why the breathing also goes, no, usually in sleep, usually there are subtle stages of breath, but you can see people snore even, right? There could be because of the movement or the neck position and all, but still there is some breathing, no? That happens. Even if person who doesn't usually snore, you can the breath intensifies, no, the breath. And then even in little animals also you see them moving and like barking and like even anger and all this, like they try to run in their dreams, a lot of things, even babies, they cry in their sleep, right? So yeah, we can see like falling, like even death and darkness, paralysis, like we said, losing loved ones, no, even if it's not doesn't happen. But these are the fears and all also that brings up, right? So usually nightmares are not like in the good side of things. So it can be symbolic, it can be trauma based, stress responses, even stress responses. Yeah? Or like if you like in a way like spiritual and mythical dreams also can appear, no? So many reasons for that are fear, grief, stress, unsolved memories, anxiety, emotional overload, these kind of things. I'll just keep it short and I'll just say, and some people hyperactive fear, like it also comes up, like survival, danger detection, these kind of things. Or some people because of trauma, or some go to like PTSD, no, for some reason. It could be abuse or something. Some people even war or accidents or anything. So these reoccur because they are well rooted in their minds and it's not a pleasant experience at all, no? Or loss, violence, these kind of things, even childhood fear. I think many of our good friends told about these kind of things also. So, uh, so there are types of nightmares also. One because of emotional pressure, financial stress, relationship conflicts, overwork, uncertainty, these kind of things. There are reoccurring ones. So with that screaming, like sweat pouring, no, you suddenly awake. These also can happen. So there are the lucid nightmares. Uh, they cannot escape, no, like we feel trapped in that. But some you wake up and oh my goodness, like luckily it's just a dream, no, like yeah, it had happened. And there are false awakening nightmares like that. You awoke, you think you wake up, but you are still in the dream, no, inside. And sleep paralysis for sure, like pressure on the chest, and you see sometimes figures and these kind of things, no. Uh, but I remember there was a friend also. He had like depression. He had a lot of sleep paralysis, and he would feel like some entity would come and start eating his body, and he could not move. And it was a lot of like real feeling the pain, like feeling. But I think it's more towards like the depressive feelings he had also. So because we all were in the same premises, no, and no other person had that experience, no, only he had. So yeah, so different belief systems, they talk about different things like traditions and all. But yeah, it can be like a connection, or even in like a alarm, or like a thing that shows us some danger appearing. That also because we know we don't like something bad happening to somebody, no? So still we can consider it as a nightmare also, right? So yeah, stress, grief, anxiety, trauma, depression, yeah, fever, illness, sleep deprivation, irregular sleep schedules. Yeah, I hear horror media, disturbing conversations, and even maybe medications also. No, oh yeah, I also have, when I was taking some pain medicines and all, it became all weird and it was not very clear, and you don't want to be in that state, but still you are in it, no? So yeah, children have their own share. So just to know, this could be our hidden fears, emotional wounds, suppressed stress, unresolved grief, uh, areas where we need to be healing. This can be, we can use it in a good aspect, no, see, because just like now, no, like when you're meditating or something, we see the negatives arise. So this, like without a controlled environment as such, as a meditative session or like a sitting, it's bit controlled, no, like, but this is like it's all in the open and the wild, no, we have just goes, it can happen in any way or in, so it's a good thing. But there are stages we fall into deep sleep, then the mind, it's like in a very uh, kind of uh, sedative state. uh, then it says in ancient scriptures and all, and then you focus on the mind also, put a meditation, and then try to you watch the. You can do that. You can be mindfulness. You can bring mindfulness in your sleep stage also. That doesn't affect the sleep or anything, but you are gradually, like you are pushing in something, no? Like first it might seem awkward because we are not used to that. We are feeling like we just dissolve into something, no? Oh, and so yeah, so we can have healthy sleep habits. I'll just relaxation practices like Georgie and all said, like meditation, breathing exercises, even prayers. These even stretching and uh, some people do dream journaling. Anthea, you said last time you did no, and I think Ray also did a lot of study about dreams and all. So oh, yeah, there is about people take it as a disorder and then try to find medications and all these kind of things also. But it's better to have some relief way before you start taking pills and all, no? Then it just grows, no? And then maybe a side effects and all that things. So yeah, practices like meditation, these kind of healing processes, any kind of, no? Like they are very helpful as long as they are wholesome. And just like we wake up, no, from the dream, we should understand this is all in a way like a elusive state, no? So they say not only the night dream, we should wake up from the daydream also, which we are now living in, no? Because more deeper you go into like realities, all this breaks down. And if even if you see a real demon, or any other entity or even a human being for that matter, they are also mind and matter, as to say, and they also don't stay forever, no, or even momentarily there's a change. And then when you dive deep in, everything comes as a mental image. Even if I'm looking at myself in the hand or anything, no, I even cannot see my face unless I use some device or look at a mirror, right? So then everything comes, so that image and then the way the mind processes it. Some people really love to watch horror movies. Those days, I used to watch horror movies at midnight as a challenge and put everything down. And then if the suddenly sound or something goes, but it gave me a huge thrill, no? Like, but I would just like go a few inches off the seat or something. But it was like so the way the perception, how we see it, and then how we process it also change. Not that I do it now, but those days it was kind of like a thrill. So, yeah, I think if you focus on the mind, and we can turn these things also to a healthy state. That and most of all, we all need to be happy and peaceful, no? So why would we need a dream to come and bother us, no? For having some good rest. So yeah, we can use wholesome practices. So if we use wholesome practices within the day, that can seep in to the dream world also. And then if there are things that should be like fixed and all, or not even fixed, like healed, we can focus on those parts, and then uh, we can have a wonderful life, no, peaceful and with happiness. Okay, I'll hand it over to Anthea.
Well, I think that's a lovely point to finish up on, unless anybody else has something else that they would like to express before we wrap up our session. Ray, Georgie, Michael, no, everybody's happy? All right. Well, thank you all so much for a really fascinating discussion. Once again, I always learn things from these discussions, and I always have things that I can apply to myself and future situations. And there's always things that I think about. So there's thought-provoking things that come up, like Sanji's prophetic dreams. So I will, yes, continue to ponder on such things. So thank you all for making the time and effort and for being a part of this amazing conversation. So I wish you all an amazing evening and amazing afternoon. And I look forward to the next time that we'll meet and discuss another fascinating topic.
Okay, thank you all. Have a good night. Have a good rest and sweet dreams. Eh? Okay, I see you. Hopefully, see you soon, very soon. No?
Bye for now,
Bye.
Okay, see
everybody.
you.
Take care.
Bye.